Going into your school library and finding out books that you were previously able to read before have been banned due to ideals you believe should be spread, such as certain history that people don't like to talk about because it makes them uncomfortable due to guilt or not wanting those things to be spread because certain people believe that they shouldn't be. It's not the right way. Or other ideals such as being queer or history with women involved, which is something I shockingly found out about not too long ago that was happening. A couple examples of these books could be The Diary of Anne Frank, To Kill a Mockingbird, or The Hate You Give, which is really shocking because those movies got are documentaries for like Anne Frank. So today I plan on talking about the issue of banning books in school libraries and why I find them dangerous and why I hope many chose to resist the banning of certain books. I don't believe schools or school districts or states should be allowed to ban certain books just because they feel those books spread ideals they don't believe in, not just ideals we believe in, or like a personal opinion, such as choosing to like people of the same gender. Not only do I feel that is wrong, it it goes against the First Amendment, which would be freedom of speech, which everyone advocates for when it's them talking, but when it becomes something that they like a group of people feel that shouldn't like the ideals shouldn't be spread, they pull back and try to prevent you from figuring those things out on your own. I have over the past couple like a week or two or a month, I've been reviewing reports from the American Library Association, educational journals, and court rulings about censorship in schools, so I can understand at least a bit about the book bans. I'm sure you've seen not too long ago on like TikTok or social media that at the beginning of the year, like or when the president was elected, that certain books were being banned for I feel were silly reasons such as like magic or it was just a silly thing going on. So first, I'll explain the rise of book banning in schools and why I believe it's also a problem. Then I will offer maybe some ways that you could resist the banning so you can choose what you want to do in the future with that. So in 2023, the American Library Association reported over 1,200 demands to have books taken off the shelves in schools, the highest number recorded for a while. In a while, most of them were featuring LGBT characters, racial justice, or difficult topics that induce discomfort in people due to horrific truths, such as very horrific stories about racism against Native Americans, African Americans, and other races that are considered less than by certain groups. And according to PEN America 2022, the bans have been silencing voices of colored and marginalized communities, taking away the ability to teach younger people how to feel empathy and being able to see in a different perspective that isn't just their own. It's really oh my, and the media literacy has been going down recently. The way they take in information is being misconstrued into like way different meanings from what they were originally meant to intend. So you're narrowing students' ability to make like form an identity of their own with these different books, and I believe that is it's just shocking that people are able to do that. And many people do believe that this is violating the First Amendment right, and they're trying to find ways for people to understand that this is also a violation of that, and not just trying to protect younger folks from negative influences, as well as a quote that I found from an article called "The First Amendment in Schools Censorship." There are a couple books I think are mainly for like queer identity people who like to spread a positive view on those topics, such as books of All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, Genderqueer by Maya Kobe, The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is strange to me because it's mainly people going to school and experiencing things that negatively affect young people, like sexual assault. Yeah, so it goes into things like that. Just books you would assume wouldn't be like as a negative influence on people. It helps to understand that these things happen, things like that. So, what kind of future do we hope to intend with banning these books? I feel as if they're trying to distort a view of the world into a way they feel is positive and if infecting children with ideals that they believe in and not the ideals the children believe in or the younger people. So it's also giving a sense of shame to people in these marginalized groups like queer people and the LGBT groups, people of color, women, just, you know, things that don't fit the status quo. So, to resist and promote access, there are ways to do this, such as writing letters or emails to state officials or people up there who work for the state and political groups as to why you feel that they shouldn't be banned or how it's affecting your First Amendment. There are many things that you could do. I didn't save this on my phone, but there is a thing where it teaches you how to resist these censorships and bans by like sending in letters and like options for that. You could also find these books online because you can buy them secondhand or share books that you already own that have been banned in the schools so people can read these to understand like the different perspectives people can go through. So, what can we do to stop the wave of censorship? As I said, sending in letters to like the government, like high standing government people, or just be in your state. So these book bans affect education, emotional intelligence, and our ability to understand the world through perspectives people find to not fit the status quo. So you could talk to your friends about these ideas, these ideals, and such. Or even ask the school how they're handling these book bans and how they can like get these books back in school. Censorship can start with the little things like history books, like history textbooks, putting away certain history that of that they don't feel comfortable sharing. As I said, it's kind of like with the Native Americans, how they were pushing them into reservations so they didn't have to see them because they might have been a sense of shame for doing those things. So we shouldn't silence our generation, like the new generation, from learning these things or preventing from learning these things because there are things that happen and that could happen, and that we should understand how to avoid these things from happening. So I hope that many people choose to look at these new things and learn.